Hey guys, Mike here with another video. Today I'm gonna be, or right now I'm gonna be in this video. I'm gonna be reviewing Avenging Spider-Man number 5, with story by Zeb Wells, art by Leniel Yu, Allen and Sunny Go. Um, so I personally don't like Leniel Yu's art. Um, my first experience with this art was Secret Invasion, if I remember correctly. That's when I first saw his art, personally, and like off the top of my head. He has this habit of drawing. Um, I guess Lionel uses is really heavy on the cross hatching. I guess he puts a lot of lines on someone's face, regardless if they have a beard or not. Just he like especially in Secret Invasion, it's very clear on like a lot of characters. They just have lines everywhere. Oh. But uh, in this issue, he actually did a pretty good job. I actually I dig the art in this issue of Avenging Spider-Man. I don't really usually like his art, personally. He's a great artist. He's one of the best artists in comics. Um, Personally, I don't really dig his art that much. So the issue, this issue of Avenging Spider-Man co-stars Captain America. It's a one-shot essentially. So it starts off with what seems like this really kiddie amateur comic book about Liberty Bonds, something that you would only see from something you see in World War II. And you see the Avengers, Wolverine, Spider Woman, Spider Man, and Hawkeye sitting in the mansion, um, talking about this comic, and they're like, "What was this about?" It's Liberty Bonds, and maybe that's how people talked back in the day. And you find out this is Captain America before he became Captain America when he was still a kid. Wrote and draw this comic and it found it. And everyone's joking around about it. Spider-Man sort of says, he named his character Steven Rogers. How embarrassing. Not Roger Stevens. Um, and Cap walks in, and they try to play it off, or you know, and he explains he's like Liberty Bonds during the war. You bought Liberty Bonds to supply the army and stuff. And and they found this in a building in his old neighborhood in Brooklyn, and they're auctioning off for but they're saying if Cap wants them he can get them. He says this is a kid drew it. Um, he gave it up and he throws out the newspaper. And then Peter asks why he stopped drawing, and Cap says stuff. And you see probably one of the best two-page splashes of in comics like I've seen in like this year. I'm gonna show you guys to you this splash page of you see Cap. You see all the crap he went through, punching Hitler in the face. Just fighting a war. Him on the rocket, all surrounded by his like broken. It's pretty. It's actually a really cool layout. Probably one of the best layouts I've seen in a while. And there's a lot of emotion in there. In just the simple way he's looking. The shadows, the way the shadows are covering his face. So the Avengers, they had to go meet the Hulk, and they're gonna go to the Quinjet, and Spidey apologizes, and Cap's like, "It's not a big deal, it's in the past." Um, so the Avengers head out, and Spidey's like, me and Cap have a lot in common, despite being all cool, he's like, Spidey's a nerd, and everyone jokes about it. He's like, "We all knew you were a nerd." Um, so they go on a mission, and Spidey stands really close to Cap. He feels the sort of connection. It's like he was a nerd, I was a nerd. We have a lot in common, I guess. Um, and when Cap says, they're taking down the Serpent Society right now. Oh, the Serpent Society. Spidey calls Cap. He's like a little kid. And everyone's like, "This is embarrassing." Um, Wolverine's like, maybe he'll loosen up Rogers, as in, because Captain America's a pretty serious guy all the time. I don't think he really jokes around ever. So they're spying on this base, and Captain America's pretty much a soldier all the time. He's not the type to talk during a mission, and Spidey's he likes to chat. or he just likes to run his mouth in a fight. So they're just chatting. And Peter's like, do you get beat up a lot? And he's like, yeah. And then Peter's like, me too. And Cap's like, that's nice. Let's do this. So you see an awesome page of them busting through a gate. There's fighting, typical stuff. Peter trying to, just talking all the time. And Cap's is like, you talk a lot. And Peter's like, that's my thing. Peter gets ambushed by Copperhead, and Cap takes him out. And everyone assembles, and there's like 3 for 3, and they head back to the Avengers Mansion. And Wolverine's like, maybe we didn't get to old Patton, and Peter's like, maybe he just needs a reminder. So we see them at the mansion, and Peter bought the page for Cap, his comic page, and he's like, oh, I didn't pay, I have a well-paying job now because he follows his passions. Maybe you should follow yours. Um, and Cap sort of goes really hard on him. This was that the page was drawn by a wee kid that he was saved from it. That he doesn't dream about adventures anymore because he is a soldier now. He doesn't have to pretend anything. Um, and Cap's sort of like, Peter's like, you don't have to leave your childhood behind or your old passions. And Cap says, sort of, do you still play with your first chemistry set? And Peter says no. And then Cap's like, would you rather go back to that kid when you were being bullies and all that other stuff? And then Peter's like, that's a moot point because he's never stopped being the science nerd or the science geek. He lives it with everything he does. Um, Peter tells him he's gonna get rid of the drawing, and then as he's leaving, he's like, no, he does play with this first chemistry set. He doesn't know he lied. And then you see Cap just silent, not be able to say anything. And then we see another cut to another part of the mansion. Peter's in his all the Avengers have their own rooms. He's in his room and he's cleaning out all his crap. And what seems to be like his first chemistry set, and he's gonna go throw it out. I guess sort of Captain America sort of gave the impression that that they're adults and they can no longer have those passions. But then you see Cap walk by Peter with a whole paper and rulers and stuff. And Peter's like, I'm not playing with this. I was throwing out my room, cleaning my room. And Cap's like, Cap decided to do some doodling to create a hero, and they have a little back and forth quips about who was being a jerk. Cap was like, you were in the kitchen like you said you were, and Peter's like, yeah, what a jerk I was. Cap is like, it wasn't Captain America who was being a jerk. Um, so you see them, talking about this drawing, and Peter sort of brainstorming. He's like, and that's from and as they're brainstorming, um, Cap's like, no, this is sort of coming back to me, and Peter says, how do you know if you ever left? And that's what the issue ends. Compared to the Hawkeye issue of Avenging Spider-Man, I actually like this one a lot better. Um, Partially because Hawkeye's a jerk in like every book he's in. But you know, Zeb Wells did crafted a great story about this, like these two heroes who have such a similar background. Um, coming together and like making whoa, cell phone's ringing. Yeah, coming together. They have such similar backgrounds, and they're now the big time heroes. And one of them refuses or doesn't want to remember the past because he hated his past. He hates that he was such a weakling. He and Peter sort of embraces it in everything that he does as Spider-Man. More recently now, especially just being Spider-Man. He made his own costume. His web shooters, he crafted those at the age of 15. Um, yeah, so being just Spider-Man is being true to himself, I guess. And Cap sort of remembers that just because he's an adult, he's a hero, doesn't mean that he can't go back to that whenever he feels like it. Or just like you don't have to give up your passions, you know, to as an adult. You can always keep your interest and stuff like that. So it's actually a really good issue story wise. Art wise, as I said, I'm not too fond of Leniel's art. But he did a great job. As I said, that splash page. If you ever see this book around, you check it out. It's a really great page. It's actually a really good book, solid art wise. Usually he puts a lot of lines on someone's face, like to signify shadow or like just like hair or facial hair or beards and stuff. But this is actually really light. Faces are really clean. Um, One problem I had with it is when Cap is throwing his shield. It's sort of hard to follow where it goes because there's no really lines of motion. You just see the shield thrown, and it's like sort of see through. So it was there, and it hits someone, and then hits another person. So you don't really know no, excuse me, the direction. Uh, Sneezing, allergies. Um, yeah, you don't really know the direction or the direction of motion, and it'd be helpful if you put like some artists do that. They put lines when the cap throws a shield. Some artists don't. But you figure out the gist just the way the shield is facing. Other than that, not much else to say. This issue really focused more on Cap and Spidey, and it's great. Like these two guys who I guess everyone can recognize with um despite them being superheroes, they're just their backgrounds. They both live tough lives, and it shows that you shouldn't like they sort of give the impression that you should never give up. Um, so other than that, not much else to say about this book. Um, solid artwork. Great stories. Really solid artwork compared to what I usually see from Leniel Yu. I'm gonna be giving it a 4 out of 5. Avenging Spider-Man has been a great book so far. I think the Omega Effect starts next week or next month. It's the 3 part. It's a crossover with Daredevil, Avenging Spider-Man, and Punisher. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy the. I'm probably gonna have to buy the Daredevil and the Punisher book just to have the full story, which is annoying. I don't really like crossovers like that. I did it for Amazing when it had the Daredevil storyline, but yeah, that's yeah. But in this case, it's a little annoying because I don't really like the Punisher, should be told. And the last time I read Daredevil was Shadowland, and it was terrible. But overall, I'll figure it out. Thanks for watching, guys. 4 out of 5. Great book. Check it out. Comes with a free digital copy. Um, so you have an iPhone or Android phone, you can download it and read it on the go. Other than that, not much else to say. I have a bunch of other stuff coming up. Um, Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend.